This is 104.7 FM. Daniel Rothman speaking to you from the Emergency Broadcast Center downtown. It's 11:43 on Tuesday morning, November 14th. If you're just joining us, we're tracking reports of what authorities are calling an unusual medical situation developing across several districts in the metropolitan area. I want to start by saying that official channels are asking everyone to remain calm. The CDC has issued a statement within the last hour confirming they're aware of the situation and have deployed rapid response teams to multiple hospitals. What we know so far is limited, but I'll share everything as it comes in. Emily just handed me an update from Metro General. They're reporting an influx of patients presenting with similar symptoms: high fever, extreme agitation, what doctors are describing as acute neurological distress. The common factor appears to be animal bites, specifically rat bites, though some patients are reporting they never saw what bit them. Just woke up with wounds, infections spreading faster than typical. Now, rat bites aren't unusual in a city this size. We have infrastructure, we have older buildings, drainage systems, plenty of places where rodent populations exist. But the volume of cases in the last 18 hours is what's caught everyone's attention. Emily's been fielding calls from listeners all morning, and I'm hearing the same thing over and over. People are seeing rats in places they've never seen them before. Broad daylight, aggressive behavior, not running away when approached. I spoke briefly with Dr. Kenji Larson from the Department of Public Health about 20 minutes ago. He couldn't go into specifics, kept referring me back to the CDC statement, but he did say this is being treated as a potential outbreak situation. They're recommending people avoid any contact with rodents, seek immediate medical attention if bitten, and report any unusual animal behavior to the authorities. The phone lines here have been lighting up since we went on air this morning. Emily's doing her best to track everything, but it's becoming clear this isn't isolated to one or two neighborhoods. We're hearing from Riverside, from the industrial quarter, from residential areas north of the park, even from some of the newer developments on the east side. One caller, I'm not going to use names, but she works at an elementary school in the Westbrook district, said they had to evacuate the building this morning because rats came up through the bathroom drains. Multiple rats came right up out of the toilets, out of the sink drains. Maintenance staff tried to contain them, but the principal made the call to clear the building. 300 kids sent home before lunch. The woman was shaking when she called us, said she'd worked there 15 years, never seen anything like it. Traffic is starting to back up on the main arteries heading out of downtown. Not gridlock yet, but heavier than usual for a Tuesday midday. Some people are choosing to leave work early, pick up their kids, head home. Can't say I blame them. When you hear reports like this, instinct kicks in. I've got a statement here from the mayor's office. Let me read this to you directly. The city acknowledges the recent uptick in rodent-related incidents and is working in full cooperation with state and federal health agencies to assess and address the situation. Pest control operations have been expanded citywide. Residents are advised to secure their homes, avoid contact with wild animals, and report any concerns to the non-emergency hotline. There is no evidence at this time of widespread danger to the public. We ask for calm and vigilance. No evidence of widespread danger. That's the official line. But I'm looking at the call sheet Emily keeps updating, and I'm seeing dozens of incidents logged just this morning. Bites, sightings, property damage. One man called from a warehouse district saying his loading dock was overrun, had to lock himself in his truck. Said there were hundreds of them. I want to be clear. I'm not here to create panic. That's not what we do. But I'm also not going to pretend everything is normal when people are calling in scared, when hospitals are filling up, when schools are evacuating. You deserve to know what's happening in your city. The science behind gene drives isn't something most people think about. I certainly didn't until Emily pulled up some background information about an hour ago. Apparently there are research facilities in this region, university-affiliated labs, biotech companies working on genetic modification technologies. Gene drives are a tool used to spread specific traits through a population quickly. They've been proposed for things like eradicating mosquito-borne diseases, controlling invasive species. In theory, you modify a small number of organisms, release them into a population, and the desired trait spreads through reproduction. Now, I'm not saying that's what's happening here. We have no confirmation of anything like that. But Emily found a press release from about 8 months ago. Thornhill Biogenetics, a research facility about 30 miles north of the city, they announced a partnership with the university to study vector-borne disease elimination. The press release mentioned controlled testing environments, ethical oversight, safety protocols, standard corporate language. I tried calling their public relations office 15 minutes ago. No answer. Tried the university's biology department. Same thing. Either everyone's in meetings or nobody wants to talk. The CDC statement mentions something I want to read to you carefully because the wording is specific. It says, "We are investigating the possibility of an enhanced transmission vector affecting rodent populations in the metro area. Citizens should treat all animal bites as potentially serious and seek medical evaluation immediately." Enhanced transmission vector. That's not language they use for normal rat bites. That's not phrasing you'd use for typical urban pest problems. Emily just got off the phone with someone at the State Department of Health. She's signaling me. Hold on. Okay, so the state is now recommending that people avoid using tap water for drinking purposes until further notice. Boil water advisory across the metropolitan area. They're saying it's precautionary related to potential contamination of the water system. They're not saying how it might be contaminated, just that boiling water before consumption is advised until they complete testing. Rats in the water system. That's what this is about. These things are moving through pipes, through drainage, through the underground infrastructure of the entire city. And if they're in the water treatment system, if they're dying in there, if they're contaminating the supply, we're looking at a much bigger problem than aggressive rodent. It's just past noon now. I can see people on the street below our building moving faster than usual. There's a tension in the way they're walking. Nobody's stopping to chat. Everyone's got their head down, moving with purpose. The listener just texted the station asking if the subway is safe. Good question. Metro Transit hasn't issued any statements, but if I were making the call, I'd avoid underground travel right now. The subway system connects to maintenance tunnels, to drainage systems, to every dark corner beneath this city. If these rats are moving through infrastructure, the subway seems like exactly the kind of place you'd want to avoid. Emily's shaking her head at me. She's got someone from animal control on hold. Let me see what they have to say. In fact, that was brief and not particularly helpful. Animal Control says they've received over 400 calls since midnight. Their teams are overwhelmed. They're asking people to secure their properties, seal any openings, and under no circumstances attempt to handle or approach rodents. The woman I spoke with sounded exhausted. Said they've never seen behavior like this, rats moving in groups, coordinated almost. I asked her what she meant by coordinated, and she just said she couldn't explain it, that her field staff are reporting things that don't make sense, that they're requesting backup from state wildlife agencies. The hospital situation is evolving. Metro General just announced they're implementing emergency triage protocols. That means they're at or near capacity. They're asking people with non-urgent medical needs to seek care elsewhere or postpone treatment. That's not standard procedure for a Tuesday afternoon. I'm hearing from a source at the hospital, someone I trust, that the patients coming in with bite wounds are deteriorating rapidly, faster than any infection should progress. We're talking hours, not days. High fever spiking to dangerous levels, seizures, violent thrashing, loss of consciousness. And here's the disturbing part. Some of the patients who've died, and yes, there have been deaths, medical staff report continued muscle movement post-mortem. Involuntary spasms, they're calling it, neurological misfires, but the description I'm getting is of sustained movement, not just random twitching. I don't know what to make of that. I'm not a doctor. But I know what corpse movement sounds like when someone describes it to you with fear in their voice. The police scanner has been active all morning. I've been monitoring it between updates. Lots of disturbance calls, lots of requests for medical assistance, officers being advised to use caution when responding to animal-related incidents. There was a call about 20 minutes ago from the Garland Heights neighborhood. Officers requesting backup at a residential property where, quote, multiple individuals are exhibiting extreme violent behavior following animal attacks. The dispatcher asked for clarification, and the officer just repeated the request for backup, said they were maintaining distance, that the situation was unlike anything in their training. I want to pause for a moment and acknowledge what some of you might be thinking. This sounds impossible. This sounds like fiction. I understand that reaction because I'm having it myself sitting here reading these reports. But I'm not making any of this up. These are real calls, real incidents, real people in real danger. The governor is scheduled to make a statement at 1 o'clock. That's in about 7 minutes. We'll carry that live as soon as it begins. Emily's getting the feed ready. In the meantime, let me give you some practical information. If you're at home, check your property for any openings. Basement windows, foundation cracks, gaps around utility pipes, seal them if you can. If you have pets, bring them inside. If you have food stored in garages or sheds, move it into sealed containers inside your main living space. These are common sense precautions, but they matter right now. If you're at work and you're thinking about heading home, that's your decision to make. Traffic is building, but roads are still passable. Gas stations are starting to see increased volume. I'd recommend filling your tank if you're planning to travel. For those asking about food supplies, grocery stores are open, but some are reporting higher than normal customer volume. I'm not suggesting you need to stock up for weeks, but having a few days of essentials at home is never a bad idea. The emergency services number is overwhelmed. If you have a genuine emergency, still call. But please, only for actual emergencies. The system is stretched thin, and every non-critical call is taking resources away from people who desperately need help. Emily is signaling that the governor's feed is coming through. Let me switch over. We're getting the feed now from the state capitol. Governor Patricia Whitmore is at the podium with several officials behind her. Let me relay what she's saying. She's confirming that the state has declared a public health emergency for the metropolitan area and surrounding counties. She's saying that multiple agencies are coordinating a response to what she's calling an unprecedented biological event. She's urging calm, but also urging people to take the situation seriously. She's mentioning Thornhill Biogenetics by name. This is significant. She's saying that state investigators are working with federal authorities to determine if there's any connection between the research facility and the current crisis. She's not providing details, but the fact that she's naming the facility publicly tells you they have concerns. She's implementing a dusk-to-dawn curfew starting tonight. All residents advised to be indoors between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. She's saying this is to protect public safety and allow emergency response teams to operate effectively. The National Guard is being activated. Troops will be deployed to assist local law enforcement and medical personnel. Roadblocks will be established on major routes in and out of the affected areas. She's recommending that people shelter in place unless they have compelling reasons to travel. Schools are closed indefinitely starting tomorrow. Non-essential businesses are asked to close by 6 p.m. today. She's taking questions now, but I can barely hear the reporters over each other. Someone just asked about casualty numbers. The governor is saying they don't have confirmed numbers yet, that the situation is evolving, that information will be released as it becomes available. Someone else is asking about evacuation plans. The governor is saying that evacuation is not recommended at this time, that movement increases risk of exposure, that people are safer securing their homes and staying put. Another question about the research facility. The governor is getting tense. She's saying that a full investigation is underway, that accountability will be addressed, but right now the priority is public safety. The press conference is ending. The governor is leaving the podium. Her staff is trying to manage the crowd of reporters. So there it is, official confirmation that this is bigger than isolated incidents. A public health emergency, National Guard deployment, curfew. These aren't measures taken lightly. I'm watching the street below and I can see the shift in energy. People moving faster now, cars honking. The news is spreading. Emily just told me that our website is crashing from traffic. People trying to get information. We're doing our best to keep broadcasting, but if the power grid becomes unstable or if we lose infrastructure, we may have interruptions. I'll stay on air as long as I'm able. A text just came in from someone claiming to work at Thornhill Biogenetics. I can't verify this, so take it for what it's worth. The message says that a containment breach occurred 6 days ago, that modified rats escaped from a testing facility through a damaged drainage system, that the rats were part of a gene drive experiment intended to eliminate disease vectors, but that something went wrong with the modification. The mutation rate exceeded projections. The drive became self-perpetuating beyond the intended parameters. If this is true, if these rats are genetically modified and breeding rapidly with an unstable modification, we're dealing with something that science can't easily predict or control. Gene drives work by ensuring that a specific genetic trait is passed to all offspring, not just half like normal inheritance. It's a way to guarantee the spread of a trait through a population. But if the modification is unstable, if it's mutating with each generation, you could have exponential changes happening faster than anyone can track. And the bite transmission, that's the part that doesn't fit normal biology. Rats don't typically spread disease through saliva with the speed we're seeing, but if the genetic modification included a viral vector, something engineered to carry genetic material, and if that vector became transmissible to other species, including humans, you'd have a mechanism for rapid spread. I'm speculating now, I want to be clear about that. But the pieces fit together in a way that's terrifying. The CDC is holding an emergency briefing at 2 o'clock. We'll monitor that as well. Multiple government agencies are now involved. FEMA has been notified. The Department of Defense is coordinating with state authorities. This is moving into federal response territory. That tells you everything about how serious this has become. Traffic cameras are showing significant backups now on all major highways. Despite the governor's recommendation to shelter in place, people are leaving. You can't blame them. When you hear biological event and National Guard deployment, Instinct tells you to get out. But where do you go? If this started here, if it's spreading through animal populations, through water systems, through person-to-person contact via bites, is anywhere safe? Emily is monitoring social media, and she's seeing reports from surrounding communities, towns 50, 60 miles away reporting unusual rodent sightings. Either this is spreading faster than anyone thought possible, or it's been spreading for longer than 6 days and we're only just now recognizing it. The math on gene drive propagation is exponential. If each modified rat produces offspring that all carry the modification, and those offspring breed with wild populations and so on, you can go from a small test group to a massive infected population in a matter of weeks under the right conditions. Rats reach sexual maturity in weeks. They can have multiple litters per year. If the drive is making them more aggressive, more active, more likely to survive and reproduce, you're looking at a population explosion. I'm getting reports of rats in the subway system, multiple stations. Transit Authority is shutting down all underground service. Buses only from this point forward. That's a massive disruption, but necessary if the reports are accurate. Someone just sent a photo to the station. I'm not going to describe it in detail, but it shows a city street with dozens of rats in broad daylight. Not scattered, moving together. The timestamp is from 40 minutes ago, about 3 blocks from where we're broadcasting. I'm looking out the window now, and I don't see anything unusual yet, but that doesn't mean much. They could be in the walls, in the basement, in any of the thousands of buildings in this downtown area. Emily wants to leave. She's scared. She has family across town, and she wants to get to them before the curfew starts. I told her to go. We can manage the broadcast with a skeleton crew. I'm not asking anyone to stay here if they feel they need to be with their loved ones, but I'm staying. Someone needs to keep people informed. As long as we have power, as long as we have a signal, I'll be here. It's 1:23 p.m. The city feels different than it did this morning. There's a current of fear running through everything now. You can hear it in the increased sirens and the traffic noise and the silence between the noise. The hospital system is now reporting that they're turning away patients who don't have life-threatening conditions. All available beds are being reserved for bite victims and severe cases. They're setting up triage centers in parking lots and school gymnasiums anywhere they can create additional space. Medical staff are working in hazmat protocols, full protective equipment when dealing with infected patients. That's not standard for animal bites. That's what you do when you're dealing with something highly contagious, something dangerous. A doctor at Riverside Hospital just called the station. She wouldn't give her name, but she wanted people to know what they're seeing. She described patients coming in lucid, aware, able to communicate. Within 2 hours, the fever spikes. They become confused, agitated. Within 4 hours, they're violent, unable to recognize family members, attacking medical staff. Within 6 hours, most are dead. But dead doesn't mean still. She described bodies continuing to move, to lunge, to bite, even after cardiac arrest, even after brain death by conventional measurements. She said they're having to restrain corpses because the muscle activity is so intense that bodies are falling off gurneys or breaking through straps. This is not neurological misfiring. This is something else. The viral vector theory makes more sense now. If the genetic modification included instructions for the host body to continue certain motor functions, even after system failure, if it's hijacking the basic muscular and nervous systems to create continued aggressive behavior, you'd see exactly what these doctors are describing. It's a zombie virus. I know how that sounds. I know the cultural baggage that phrase carries, but I don't have better words for what's being described. A transmissible agent that kills the host but maintains certain physical functions geared towards spreading itself through biting and contact. Whether it started as an engineered modification or as an unintended mutation of an engineered modification doesn't matter at this point. What matters is that it exists, it's spreading, and we don't have a cure or a treatment. The 2 o'clock CDC briefing is starting. Let me bring you that audio. The CDC director is speaking, Dr. Amelia Frost. She looks exhausted. She's confirming what the governor said, that this is a biological crisis requiring immediate and comprehensive response. She's saying that preliminary analysis suggests an engineered pathogen, likely viral in nature, capable of transmission through saliva and blood contact. She's confirming that the pathogen affects neurological function and appears to maintain certain host motor activity even after clinical death. She's not using the word zombie, but everyone hearing this knows what she's describing. She's saying that a vaccine is not possible in the short term, that treatment options are limited, that containment is the only viable strategy at this stage. She's recommending that anyone bitten or exposed to potentially infected individuals or animals seek immediate isolation and medical monitoring. She's saying that family members should not attempt to care for infected individuals at home. that this increases risk of transmission. She's talking about quarantine protocols. Infected individuals will be separated from the general population. Treatment facilities are being established. But she's acknowledging that medical resources are already strained, that not everyone who needs care will be able to receive it immediately. Someone is asking about mortality rates. Dr. Frost is saying that current data suggest extremely high mortality among infected individuals, approaching 100%. She's saying there are no confirmed recoveries at this time. 100% mortality. Let that sink in. If you're bitten, if you're infected, you will die. And after you die, something else takes over. The briefing is wrapping up. Dr. Frost is urging people to follow all emergency protocols, to stay informed, to help neighbors when possible, but to prioritize their own safety. It's 1:45 p.m. The city outside is in chaos now. I can hear it through the windows. Car alarms, sirens shouting. People are panicking. Emily left 10 minutes ago. I told her to be safe, to get home, to lock her doors. She was crying when she walked out. I don't know if I'll see her again. The rest of the staff is packing up. They're leaving too. I don't blame them. I encourage them to go, but I'm staying. This frequency, this voice, it might be all some people have right now. I won't abandon that. Power is still stable. The building's backup generators are fueled and ready. I have water. I have some food in the break room. I can hold out here for a while if needed. I'm thinking about my own family. My sister lives 2 states away. I called her an hour ago, told her to watch the news, to be ready to act if this spreads beyond the metro area. She didn't believe me at first, thought I was exaggerating, but I made her promise to take it seriously. I hope she does. Reports are coming in from the quarantine zones that the National Guard is establishing. They're setting up perimeters around the most affected neighborhoods, restricting movement in and out. People are trying to cross the lines and being turned back. There's a video circulating online from one of these checkpoints. Civilians arguing with soldiers, demanding to be let through, saying they have family on the other side. The soldiers are holding their position, but you can see the tension. This is going to break down. People won't accept being separated from their loved ones, not for long. The governor mentioned accountability for Thornhill Biogenetics. I wonder if anyone from that facility is still alive to be held accountable. If their security failed, if the rats escaped through their drainage systems, those same rats probably infested their facility first. I tried calling the facility again a few minutes ago. Still no answer. Either they evacuated or they're dealing with their own crisis or they're dead. Gene drive technology was supposed to save lives, eliminate malaria by modifying mosquitoes, control invasive species threatening ecosystems. It was supposed to be precise, controlled, beneficial, but like every powerful technology, the potential for disaster exists the moment human error or unforeseen consequences enter the equation. Someone designed these rats, someone thought they understood the parameters, someone believed the containment would hold, and now thousands of people are infected, hundreds are dead, and a major city is collapsing. It's 2:15. Sunset is at 5:43 tonight. Curfew starts at 8. That gives people a few hours to get where they need to be, to secure their locations, to prepare for whatever the night brings. I'm hearing that grocery stores are being stripped. Not orderly shopping, but panic buying bordering on looting. Security can't manage the crowds. Police are too busy with higher priority calls to respond to theft reports. Gas stations are running dry. People filling tanks, filling containers, hoarding fuel. Some stations have closed, owners fleeing like everyone else. The banking system is straining, ATMs running out of cash. People withdrawing everything they can, preparing for the possibility that electronic systems could fail. In a crisis, society's thin veneer cracks fast. We like to think we're civilized, that order is natural. But order requires functioning systems, requires trust, requires the belief that tomorrow will be similar to today. When that belief shatters, when people realize the rules might not apply anymore, behavior changes rapidly. I'm not saying we're in total collapse yet, but we're at the edge. Another few hours, another wave of infections, another failure of authority, and we could tip over into something much darker. The military presence will help. Soldiers at checkpoints, visible authority, the reminder that force can still be applied to maintain order. But soldiers are people too. They have families. They're scared. How long before they start prioritizing their own survival over their orders? A caller just got through on one of the few working lines. A man named Terrence calling from the industrial district. He's locked in a warehouse with a dozen other workers. Says rats came through the building like a wave, climbing walls, dropping from rafters. They managed to get into a secure storage room. Heavy door, no windows. But they can hear scratching on the other side. constant scratching. He asked me how long they should wait, if help is coming. I told him to stay put, to keep the door secured, to ration any food or water they have. I told him that emergency services are overwhelmed, but that they're trying to reach everyone. I don't know if help is coming. I don't know if anyone is coming for any of us. He thanked me and hung up. His voice was shaking. I wonder how many people are trapped like that right now. How many are hiding in offices and basements, in vehicles, hoping the danger passes, hoping someone rescues them. The reality is that rescue might not come. Resources are finite, personnel are finite. There are probably tens of thousands of people needing help right now and only hundreds of responders able to provide it. Triage on a citywide scale. Save who you can, leave who you can't. It's brutal, but it's the math of disaster response. The sun is still up, still bright outside. It's strange how normal the day looks from up here. Blue sky, light clouds, the physical world unchanged. But the social world, the human world, is coming apart. I'm monitoring multiple radio frequencies. Police, fire, emergency medical services. The chatter is constant, frantic. Codes I've never heard before. Requests for support that can't be filled. Officers calling in exposures, calling in bites, going off-air mid-transmission. Fire stations are locking down, becoming refuge points for civilians. Some firehouses have dozens of people inside, families seeking safety behind solid doors and high walls. Churches are opening their doors. Community centers, schools that were evacuated this morning are being reopened as shelter points. People are gathering anywhere that feels secure, anywhere with leadership, anywhere that isn't home alone. But is congregation safer if even one infected person enters a shelter? If they turn, if they start biting others in close quarters, you could have a massacre. The guidance says to isolate, to stay in small groups, to trust no one showing symptoms. But humans are social. We seek each other in times of fear. Going against that instinct is almost impossible. I'm staying here alone. Maybe that's smarter, maybe that's cowardice. I don't know anymore. It's 2:47. The CDC briefing mentioned treatment facilities being established. I'm looking at the locations they listed. 3 sites across the metro area, converted convention centers, large open spaces where they can set up beds and equipment. But if treatment doesn't exist, if there's no cure, what exactly are these facilities doing? Are they actually treating people, or are they just isolation centers where the infected are sent to die away from the healthy population? I think we all know the answer. A message just came through from someone claiming to be inside one of these facilities. A nurse. She says it's hell. Hundreds of people, most already showing symptoms. Not enough staff, not enough supplies, not enough security. Infected individuals are restrained to beds, but the restraints are breaking. She says they're running out of sedatives, running out of ways to keep people calm as they deteriorate. She says some of the medical staff have stopped coming to work. They looked at the conditions, looked at the risk, and walked away. Can't blame them. Staying means almost certain infection. Leaving means living with the guilt. But living nonetheless. Tough choice. Survival often is. The National Guard presence is increasing. I can see military vehicles moving through the streets below. Humvees, transport trucks, soldiers in full combat gear. It's surreal to see that level of military deployment in your own city. They're establishing aid stations at major intersections, distributing water and basic supplies. But the crowds gathering around these stations are huge. Desperate people pushing forward, grabbing what they can. The soldiers are trying to maintain order, but it's barely controlled chaos. Someone's going to get shot. I can feel it. When scared people crowd armed soldiers, when resources are scarce and tensions are high, violence is inevitable. I hope I'm wrong. 3 p.m. now, 2 hours and 43 minutes until sunset, 5 hours until curfew. The highways are parking lots. People abandoned vehicles when traffic stopped moving, started walking. Some are turning back toward the city, realizing they're not getting out. Others are walking into the distance, maybe thinking they can reach safety on foot. But safety is where? The surrounding counties are implementing their own lockdowns, their own checkpoints. They don't want refugees from the metro area bringing infection to their communities. Can't blame them for that either. We're being contained, quarantined at a massive scale. The entire metropolitan area is becoming a hot zone that the rest of the state, the rest of the country is sealing off. There's a cruel logic to it. Sacrifice one city to save the region. Sacrifice the region to save the country. The math of containment applied without mercy. I wonder what the federal government is planning. Are they considering more drastic measures? Military force to enforce quarantine? Bombing infrastructure to prevent spread? It sounds extreme, but we're in extreme circumstances. A text from someone claiming to be military, active duty, stationed at one of the perimeter checkpoints. Says they have orders to shoot anyone attempting to cross after curfew. Lethal force authorized, no warnings, no exception. If that's true, if those are the actual orders, the government has made its decision. The people inside this zone are expendable. Containment at any cost. I'm inside that zone. We all are. Everyone listening to this broadcast right now, we're all on the wrong side of the line. The thought is settling in now, heavy and cold. We might not make it out of this. Most of us probably won't. I'm not giving up. I'm not saying it's over. But I'm being realistic about the situation we're facing. A biological weapon, basically. Whether intentional or accidental doesn't matter. A rapidly spreading pathogen with near total mortality, no treatment, and horrific symptoms. Contained to a single metro area for now, but with potential to spread if containment fails. From the government's perspective, we're the infection, we're the threat, and the response to threats of this magnitude is elimination. I hope I'm being paranoid. I hope the goal really is to help us, to find a cure, to save lives. But the pattern of action suggests otherwise. Emily texted me. She made it home. Her apartment is secure. She's alone, but safe for now. She asked if I'm okay. I told her I'm fine. I don't know if that's true. The building is quiet now. I'm the only one here as far as I know. The emergency lighting is on in the hallways, giving everything a dim, eerie quality. The broadcasting equipment hums steadily, familiar and comforting. I've been doing this job for 12 years. Mornings, afternoons, whatever shift needed filling. Traffic reports, weather, news, the occasional human interest story, normal life, normal problem. I never imagined I'd be broadcasting the end of the world. But here we are. It's 3:22. The sun is angling lower, shadows growing longer. I'm hearing gunfire now, not constantly, but regularly enough to notice. Pop, pop, pop in the distance. Could be police engaging infected, could be civilians defending themselves, could be people killing each other over resources, all of the above, probably. The social contract is breaking. When survival is at stake, when authority is absent or ineffective, people revert to older instincts. Protect your own. Take what you need. Trust no one. There are good people out there still helping each other, still maintaining humanity. I have to believe that. But there are also people using the chaos as cover for violence, for theft, for settling old grudges. Crisis reveals character. Sometimes that revelation is beautiful, sometimes it's ugly. A report just came through about a residential neighborhood where someone got infected and bit multiple family members before being restrained. The family is now barricaded inside their home, all of them infected, all of them deteriorating. Neighbors can hear screaming from inside. Police responded, but there's nothing they can do. Orders are not to enter contaminated residences. Just mark the location and move on. That family is going to die in there, together, but alone. No medical care, no comfort, just fear and pain and the inevitable transformation into something that used to be human. How many scenes like that are playing out right now? How many families are trapped with infected members, watching their loved ones change, knowing they're next? The cruelty of this disease is not just that it kills, it's that it kills slowly enough for you to understand what's happening, to feel the fear, to say goodbye. And then it brings you back as something monstrous. If I get infected, if I get bitten, I won't wait for the transformation. I'm not going through that. There are ways to end it quickly. I'd rather die as myself than live as whatever that virus creates. Morbid thoughts, but necessary ones. Everyone needs to make that decision now while they still can. What will you do if you're infected? Will you fight it knowing you'll lose? Will you end it yourself? Will you warn others or hide it and risk spreading it? These are the questions we're all facing. 3:51. Less than 2 hours until sunset. The temperature is dropping. It's going to be cold tonight. People without heat, without power, they're going to suffer. Add that to the list of problems. The power grid is still functioning, but there are reports of outages in some districts. Could be damage to infrastructure, could be technicians abandoning their posts, could be sabotage. Whatever the cause, if power starts failing widely, we lose communication, refrigeration, security systems. Everything gets harder. I'm grateful this building has generators. As long as we have fuel, I can keep broadcasting. I checked the reserves earlier. Enough for about 3 days of continuous operation. After that, we're dark. 3 days. A lot can happen in 3 days. Maybe help arrives. Maybe the situation stabilizes. Maybe a cure is found. Or maybe everything collapses completely and it doesn't matter anymore. A helicopter just flew over, military, from the sound and the markings I could see. Flying low, circling the downtown area. Reconnaissance maybe. Or looking for somewhere to land to extract VIPs. Politicians, wealthy elites, people with connections, You know they're getting out. They're not subject to the same rules as the rest of us. There are planes leaving from private airfields, cars with security details bypassing checkpoints, bunkers, and safe locations that regular people don't have access to. The powerful survive. The poor and middle class face the danger. It's always been that way, and it hasn't changed now. I'm not bitter about it. Well, maybe a little bitter, but mostly I understand. If I had the resources to escape, I probably would. Self-preservation is universal, but I don't have those resources. I have a radio station, a microphone, and a commitment to keep talking as long as I can. So here I am, 4:17. The light outside is golden now, that late afternoon quality that usually feels peaceful. Not today. Today it just marks time running out. I'm thinking about all the people listening. How many are left? How many radios are still on, still tuned to this frequency? Maybe thousands, maybe hundreds. Maybe just a few. If you're out there, if you're hearing this, know that you're not alone. Someone is still broadcasting. Someone still cares about what happens to you. Stay safe. Stay hidden. Don't trust anyone showing symptoms. Protect yourself and those you love. And if the worst happens, if you get infected, make your peace quickly. Don't let it take you all the way. That's the best advice I can give. The police scanner just lit up with a massive response call. Multiple officers reporting what they're calling a swarm event in the Riverside district. Hundreds of infected individuals moving together through the streets. Officers are falling back, unable to contain it. They're requesting military support, requesting air support, a swarm. Like the rats, coordinated movement, collective behavior. If the virus is controlling motor function, if it's directing the infected towards specific goals like spreading itself, you could see exactly that kind of coordination. Not intelligence exactly, but programmed behavior. Seek out uninfected, bite, spread. It's efficient from the virus's perspective, horrific from ours. The military is responding to the swarm report, gunfire increasing in that direction. Heavy weapons from the sound of it. They're not trying to subdue, they're trying to destroy. Kill the infected before they spread it further, the only tactic that makes sense. But how do you kill hundreds of people, even infected people, even monsters wearing human faces, without losing part of your soul? The soldiers pulling those triggers are going to carry that for the rest of their lives. Assuming they have the rest of their lives. Assuming they don't get bitten, don't get infected, don't join the swarm themselves. It's 4:43, 1 hour until sunset, 3 hours and 17 minutes until curfew. The streets below are emptying. People are getting inside, locking doors, preparing for the night. Smart move. But what about the people who don't have secure shelter? The homeless population that was already vulnerable? People who were traveling when this started, who are stuck in hotels or vehicles or public spaces, they're the most at risk. No protection, no resources, exposed. I saw a group earlier from the window, maybe 8 or 9 people moving together down the street. They had makeshift weapons, bats, and pipes, heading somewhere with purpose, maybe to find shelter, maybe to raid supplies. They looked determined, looked capable. I hope they make it. 4:58. The sun is touching the horizon now. The sky is turning orange and purple. Beautiful and indifferent. Darkness is coming, and with it, increased danger. The infected don't need light to hunt, but we do. We need to see them coming. I'm turning off some of the lights in here, making the building less visible from outside. There's enough ambient light to see what I'm doing, to read notes, to operate equipment. I don't need to advertise my presence. 5:12. The street lights are coming on automatically. Some of them. Others are dark, either damaged or unpowered. The city is patchwork now. Some areas still functioning normally, others dark and dangerous. I can hear screaming in the distance. Can't tell if it's fear or pain or rage. Just human voices pushed beyond normal limits. The radio chatter is describing the swarm as neutralized. Dozens of infected killed. Military units establishing a perimeter around the area to prevent further movement. But there are other swarms forming, other reports coming in from different districts. This isn't one incident, it's a pattern. The infected are congregating, moving in groups. Maybe they're drawn to noise, to movement, to concentrations of uninfected. Maybe it's random, but the effect is the same. Large numbers of hostile, aggressive beings moving through the city. If you're in a swarm's path, you're in serious trouble. Can't fight that many. Can't outrun them if they're close. Your only option is to hide and hope they pass by. 5:31. 12 minutes until sunset. I'm watching the sky change. Deep blue turning to black, stars starting to appear. The moon is rising almost full. There will be some natural light tonight at least. I'm thinking about previous generations who faced catastrophes, plagues, wars, famines. They didn't have modern medicine, modern communication, modern infrastructure. They survived through toughness and community and luck. We have advantages they didn't. Knowledge, technology, resources. But we also have vulnerabilities they didn't. We're dependent on complex systems that are fragile. When those systems fail, we're often helpless. Our ancestors knew how to survive without electricity, without running water, without grocery stores. Most of us don't. We're going to learn quickly or we're going to die. 5:43, sunset. The city is transforming in the dimming light. Buildings becoming silhouettes, streets becoming shadows, the familiar becoming strange. I'm alone in this building, in this room, speaking into a microphone, sending my voice out into the darkness, hoping someone hears it, hoping it helps. This is 104.7 FM, Daniel Rothman, still here, still broadcasting. If you're listening, stay strong, stay safe. We're going to get through this night, and then we'll face tomorrow. 6:14. Full dark now except for the moon and scattered streetlights. The city sounds different at night. Quieter in some ways, more intense in others. Sirens still, gunfire still, but also silence. Long stretches of nothing. It's the silence that's unnerving. You expect city noise, traffic, voices, life. When it goes quiet, you know something is wrong. I'm monitoring multiple information sources. Radio, internet while it lasts, text messages still coming in sporadically. Building a picture of what's happening across the metro area, the quarantine perimeters are holding so far. Military checkpoints established at all major exit routes. No one getting in or out without authorization. That authorization is apparently very rarely granted or sealed in. The experiment is contained. That's what this is from the government's perspective. A contained experiment. See how the infection spreads. See how long the population survives. Gather data for future reference. I don't know if I believe that's actually the intent, but the execution looks the same either way. The treatment facilities are overwhelmed completely now. They've stopped accepting new patients. If you're infected, you're on your own. Find somewhere to die that's away from other people. That's the new guidance. Cold, practical, brutal, but probably necessary. Every medical worker who gets infected is one less person who can help. Every bed used for someone who's going to die anyway is one less bed for someone who might survive other injuries. Triage at its most stark. I'm hearing reports that some people are choosing to end things themselves rather than wait for the infection to run its course. Families making group decisions. Quick and painless if you have the means. Horrific but understandable. I won't judge anyone for that choice. We're all doing what we have to do. 6:41. 1 hour and 19 minutes until curfew officially begins. The streets are nearly empty now. I can see a few vehicles still moving, headlights cutting through the dark, last-minute attempts to get somewhere safe. I saw one car stop suddenly in the middle of an intersection. The doors opened and people ran out, leaving the car running, engine idling. They disappeared into a building. Something spooked them badly enough to abandon their vehicle. The car is still sitting there, doors open, lights on. An offering to the night. A cat just walked past the window. I saw it clearly in the moonlight, moving casually, unconcerned. Animals don't understand what's happening. For them, it's just another day, another night. I envy that ignorance. 7:03. The temperature is dropping noticeably. Probably mid-40s now. Will be below freezing before morning. People without heat are going to have a rough night. Add hypothermia to the list of ways to die. I'm comfortable here. The building's climate control is still working. Small mercy. The internet is getting spotty. Pages loading slowly or not at all. Could be infrastructure damage. Could be everyone online trying to get information, overwhelming the servers. When the internet goes down completely, and it will, we'll lose our primary means of sharing information. Back to radio, to word of mouth, to rumor and speculation. The dark ages, modern version. I'm going to keep broadcasting as long as possible. Give people something to hold on to. A voice in the darkness. Connection, however thin. 7:28, 32 minutes until curfew. The gunfire has decreased significantly. Either they've neutralized the immediate threats or they're conserving ammunition. Both possibilities are concerning. If they're out of targets, where did the infected go? They don't just disappear. If they're conserving ammunition, they're worried about running out. That means they're expecting extended engagement. Either way, the night is going to be long. A text just came in from someone in the northern suburbs. They're saying the infected have reached their neighborhood, that they can see people moving in the streets, attacking anyone they find, that the police aren't responding to calls anymore. The northern suburbs are outside the initial hot zone. If the infection has reached there, it's spreading faster than the containment measures can manage. The quarantine might already be failing. I'm trying to verify that report, but communication is difficult. Phone lines are jammed. Internet is barely functional. I can't confirm or deny, but I believe it. This kind of spread, with this kind of transmission mechanism, containment was probably impossible from the start. 7:53. 7 minutes until curfew. I'm watching the clock tick down, wondering what happens at 8 p.m. exactly. Will the streets suddenly become more dangerous? Will the military start shooting people on sight? Or will it be anticlimax, just another minute and an ongoing disaster? I guess I'll find out soon. A memory just surfaced. Childhood memory. I was maybe 10 years old watching a thunderstorm from my bedroom window. The lightning, the thunder, the rain hammering down. I was scared and excited at the same time. Nature's power on full display. My father came in, sat with me, told me storms pass, that you wait them out and then the sun comes back. I wish he were here now. I wish someone could tell me this storm will pass, but I don't think it will. I think this is the new normal. This is what the world is now. 7:59, 1 minute. The city is holding its breath. 8 p.m. Curfew in effect. Nothing dramatic happened. The clock changed. The city remains dark and tense, but now anyone outside is in violation, subject to arrest or worse. I wonder how many people are still out there, by choice or by circumstance. I wonder how many will see sunrise. 8:17. The first hour of curfew passing quietly. Maybe people are actually complying. Maybe the streets are clear, or maybe everyone outside is already dead or infected. I'm trying to stay positive, but it's difficult. The reports keep coming in and none of them are good. Food distribution centers were supposed to be set up, but most never opened. Too dangerous for the workers. So people who were counting on those resources are out of luck. The power grid is showing strain. Some areas losing electricity. Could be equipment failure, could be lack of maintenance, could be deliberate sabotage. When the grid fails completely, we'll be in darkness. No lights, no heat, no refrigeration, no communication beyond what battery power allows. Civilization is a thin layer over chaos. We're watching that layer peel back in real time. 8:41. I'm going to take a break from the moment-by-moment updates, not because there's nothing to report, but because I need to say some things while I still can. If you're listening to this broadcast, you're a survivor, at least for now. You've made it through the initial outbreak, through the panic, through the first night of curfew. That takes luck and skill and determination. You're going to need all three to keep surviving. Here's what I think is coming based on everything I'm seeing and hearing. The infection is going to continue spreading. The quarantine probably won't hold. Other cities, other regions, they're going to face what we're facing. The government response is going to become more extreme, more force, less compassion. Survival of the collective over the individual. Resources are going to become scarce. Food, water, medicine, fuel. People are going to fight over them. Order is going to break down further. The police and military can only maintain control for so long before they're overwhelmed or they abandon their posts. We're entering a period of prolonged crisis, not days but weeks, maybe months. Maybe forever. I don't say this to scare you. You're already scared. I say it so you can prepare mentally for what's ahead. This is not a temporary emergency. This is a fundamental change to reality. The world we knew is gone. The new world is harder, darker, more brutal. But humans are adaptable. We've survived ice ages, plagues, wars, famines. We've faced extinction-level threats before and persevered. We can do it again, but only if we're smart, only if we're tough. Only if we help each other when possible and make hard choices when necessary. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. If someone seems infected, stay away. If a situation feels dangerous, leave. Don't be a hero. Heroes die first in situations like this. Be practical. Be cautious. Be ruthless when you have to be. And find something to hold on to. A reason to keep going. Family, friends, faith, purpose, even just spite. Whatever works, because the nights are going to be long and dark and you're going to need something to pull you through. I'm holding on to this broadcast, this purpose. As long as I can speak, as long as someone might be listening, I have a reason to stay alive. Find your reason. 9:08. The city is silent now. Deeply, unnaturally silent. I'm listening for any sound. Sirens, gunfire, voices, anything. But there's nothing. Just the hum of the building systems and my own breathing. It's like everyone has disappeared. Like I'm the last person left. I know that's not true. There are thousands of people out there hiding, waiting, hope, but it feels true. Isolation is its own kind of horror. 9:32. Still quiet. I'm using this time to organize supplies. There's not much here. Some snacks from the vending machines, bottles of water, coffee. Enough for a few days if I'm careful. The bathroom works. Water still running. That's good. I'm thinking about sustainability. How long can I hold out here? What happens when the food runs out, when the power fails, when the water's... I'll have to leave eventually. Find more supplies, find other survivors maybe, but not tonight. Tonight I'm staying put. I'm looking at a map of the city, marking areas where I know there are resources, grocery stores, pharmacies, hardware stores, places I could potentially scavenge, but every one of those locations is probably already picked over or dangerous or both. Still, knowledge is useful. When the time comes to move, I'll have a plan. 10:04. 2 hours into curfew. 4 hours since sunset. The silence continues. It's oppressive now. I keep expecting something to break it. An explosion, a scream, anything. But no, just quiet. Maybe the infected are dormant at night. Maybe they're inactive without stimulus, or maybe they're moving so silently that I can't hear them. That's a disturbing thought. I'm keeping the lights low, staying away from windows. No reason to attract attention. The broadcasting equipment is minimal, doesn't make much noise, just the soft hum of electronics. I could turn it off, go completely dark and silent, safer probably, but then I'd truly be alone. And I'm not ready for that yet. 10:37. I'm going to try to sleep for a bit. I've been awake since early this morning and exhaustion is setting in. I'll leave the equipment running. If something significant happens, if I need to wake up and report it, I will. But right now I need rest. Tomorrow is going to be hard, and I need to be sharp. If you're listening, try to get some sleep too. Rest when you can. You'll need your strength. This is Daniel Rothman, 104.7 FM. I'll be back on air in a few hours. Stay safe out there. It's 1:43 a.m. I woke up from uneasy sleep about 10 minutes ago. Dreams full of rats and screaming. Not restful, but better than nothing. The city is still quiet. I checked the windows, looked out at the darkened streets. Nothing moving. Moonlight casting everything in silver and shadow. It's beautiful, in a desolate way. I'm back at the microphone now. Don't know if anyone is listening at this hour, but I'm talking anyway. The temperature inside has dropped. Climate control is struggling or failing. I can see my breath. That's not a good sign. If heating fails completely, this building becomes a lot less hospitable. Might have to relocate sooner than planned. I'm checking the news feeds, what's left of them. Most websites are down. The few that are still accessible are showing cached information from hours ago. But there's one feed still updating. A blog run by someone calling themselves Red Dawn Observer. They're posting regular updates from various sources, crowdsourcing information. According to their latest post, the infection has confirmed spread to at least 6 other cities. Different states, different regions, all connected by travel routes to our metro area. People who left before the quarantine, people who were incubating but not yet symptomatic, they carried it with them. The containment failed before it began. Red Dawn Observer is saying that the federal government is considering nationwide emergency measures, martial law, travel restrictions, possible military enforcement in major population centers. If that's true, if this is going national, we're looking at societal collapse on a massive scale. The United States cannot function under those conditions. The economy, the infrastructure, the social systems, they all require normal operation to survive. Shut it all down, lock everyone in their homes, deploy the military against the civilian population, and everything breaks. And if it's happening here, it's probably happening globally. This kind of biological threat doesn't respect borders. We might be watching the end of modern civilization, 2:11 a.m. I'm trying to process the implications and failing. The scale is too large. My mind can't hold it all. So I'm focusing on the immediate, the tangible. This room, this equipment, this moment. I'm here, I'm alive, I'm broadcasting. That's enough for now. The sound just broke the silence. Distant but clear. Glass breaking. Lots of glass. Then car alarms. Multiple car alarms going off. Something is happening out there. I'm moving to the window carefully, staying back from the glass. I can see movement now, shapes in the street. Lots of them. They're attacking cars, smashing windows, looking for people inside maybe, or just destroying everything they encounter. The infected, a swarm of them, moving through downtown. They're heading this direction. I need to go dark. Need to be silent. I'm cutting the broadcast for now. I'll come back on when it's safe, if it's ever safe again. This is Daniel Rothman, going offline. If you're listening, hide. They're coming. It's 4:56 a.m. I'm back. The swarm passed. Took almost 2 hours. I stayed completely still, completely quiet, turned off every light, every piece of equipment, sat in the darkness listening to them in the street below. They were making sounds, not words but vocalizations, moans, snarls, wet clicking noises, communication maybe, or just the noise of damaged vocal cords and deteriorating biology. They tried the doors of the building. I could hear them rattling the handles, pounding on the metal. but the security doors held. Then they moved on, following some instinct, or scent, or signal I can't understand. When the sounds faded when I was sure they were gone, I waited another hour before turning anything back on. My hands are still shaking. I've never been that scared in my life. Sitting in the dark, knowing that a few inches of door and wall were all that separated me from them. Knowing that if they got in, I had nowhere to run. But they didn't get in. I survived. I'm back on air now, broadcasting again. If anyone heard my last transmission, if you hid like I told you to, I hope you made it through too. The sky is starting to lighten. Dawn is coming. We made it through the night. 5:31 a.m. The sunrise is spectacular. Deep oranges and reds painting the eastern sky, the city emerging from darkness. But the light reveals new horrors. I can see bodies in the street. I can see blood on the pavement. I can see damaged storefronts, abandoned vehicles, the aftermath of the night's violence. The swarm left a trail of destruction, and somewhere out there they're still moving, still hunting. Just because the sun is up doesn't mean they stop. I need to reassess my situation. This building isn't as secure as I thought. If they come back, if they're more persistent next time, these doors might not hold. I need a better location. Somewhere more defensible. Somewhere with multiple exits. But moving means exposure, means risk. I'll wait for full daylight at least. See what the day brings. 6:07 a.m. The city is waking up. I can hear sounds of life. Engines starting. Distant voices. Helicopters overhead. The curfew technically ends at 6 a.m. People are emerging from their hiding places. I wonder how many didn't make it through the night. How many became infected? How many were killed? How many simply gave up? The death toll must be staggering by now. Thousands, certainly. Maybe tens of thousands. And that's just in our metro area. If this is happening in multiple cities, the national death toll could be in the hundreds of thousands in less than 24 hours. That's apocalyptic scale. 6:43. I'm seeing military convoys moving through the streets. Heavy equipment, armored vehicles. They're taking up positions at major intersections. The occupation is becoming more visible, more aggressive. A helicopter just landed on the roof of the government building 2 blocks away. People disembarking, moving quickly inside. VIPs being extracted or important personnel being moved. The powerful taking care of their own while the rest of us fend for ourselves. I'm not surprised, just disappointed. 7:14 a.m. Communications are coming back online partially. I'm getting text messages that were sent hours ago just now coming through. One from Emily, sent at 2 a.m. They're outside my building. I can hear them. I'm so scared, Daniel. If I don't make it, tell my mom I love her. Nothing since then. I don't know if she's alive. I hope she is. But hope doesn't change reality. I'm getting messages from other people too. Desperate messages. Calls for help, reports of locations overrun, final goodbye. Reading them is like watching people drown while I stand safely on shore. But there's nothing I can do. I can't save anyone. I can barely save myself. All I can do is keep broadcasting, keep sharing information, keep giving people a voice to listen to in the darkness. It's not much, but it's what I have. 7:51. The sun is fully up now. The day is clear, cold, bright. Under normal circumstances, it would be a beautiful day. But there's nothing normal anymore. I'm hearing reports of massive fires burning in several districts. Whether accidental or intentional, I don't know. But without functioning fire departments, those fires will burn until they run out of fuel. Entire neighborhoods could be destroyed. The infrastructure is collapsing faster than I anticipated. Power, water, emergency services all degrading rapidly. By tonight, we might be in medieval conditions. No electricity, no running water, no organized authority, just survival. 8:23, I need to make a decision. Stay here or move to a better location. This building has some advantages. Height, solid construction, backup power for now, but it's isolated. I'm alone. If something happens to me, that's it. There's a residential high-rise about 4 blocks west. I know the building, been there for interviews before. Good security, multiple floors. Probably has other survivors inside. Safety in numbers, potentially. Or more risk if anyone inside is infected. It's a gamble either way. I think I'm going to stay put for now. Moving in daylight is risky. Better to wait, observe, plan carefully. I have enough supplies for a few more days. I can hold out. 8:57. The military presence is increasing significantly. I'm seeing troops on every major street now, setting up checkpoints, establishing defensive positions. They're preparing for something. Another swarm event maybe. We're expecting the infection to spread further. Whatever they're preparing for, they clearly expect it to be bad. I wish I could talk to someone in command, get official information about what's actually happening, what the plan is, but communications between military and civilian are non-existent. They're not sharing information. Just taking action. 9:32. Reports are coming in from the quarantine perimeter. Civilians attempting to breach the checkpoints, trying to escape the hot zone. The military is holding the line, using force to turn people back. There are confirmed casualties. People shot while trying to cross. The government has made its choice clear. No one leaves. Containment at all costs. We're prisoners now, trapped in a dying city. I'm angry about that. But I also understand the logic. If even one infected person escapes, if the virus spreads beyond the quarantine zone, the entire containment effort fails. Better to sacrifice thousands than risk millions. Cold mathematics. 10:04. I'm watching the streets through the window, seeing people moving in small groups, scavenging for supplies. They're armed. Bats, crowbars, a few with guns, moving cautiously, watching for threats. Survivors adapting to the new reality. Some are helping each other, sharing resources. Others are fighting over them. Human nature in microcosm. I saw two groups clash over a pallet of bottled water someone found. Came to blows, actual violence. One person went down, hit their head on concrete. The others just left them there, took the water and moved on. That's how fast compassion fails under pressure. 10:41. The power just flickered. Lights dimmed, came back, dimmed again. The grid is failing. It's starting. When it goes completely, everything changes. We'll be in darkness except for battery lights and fires. Communication will be limited to radios and direct contact. The modern world ending in real time. I'm checking the backup generators. They're running, but fuel is limited. Maybe another 48 hours of continuous operation. After that, I'll have to conserve power, broadcast intermittently instead of constantly. Make each transmission count. 11:18. Another swarm has been spotted forming in the eastern district. Military units are responding. I can hear the gunfire from here. Sustained heavy. They're not holding back. The strategy seems to be overwhelming force. Kill the infected in large numbers, reduce the threat through attrition. It might work if they have enough ammunition, enough soldiers, enough time. But I'm skeptical. The infected don't tire, don't retreat, don't fear death. They just keep coming. Eventually the military will run out of bullets or soldiers or both. And then what? 11:54. I'm going to eat something. Conserving food, but I need energy. Crackers and warm soda. Gourmet dining in the apocalypse. I'm also going to plan my next move. Staying here is becoming less viable. I need options. There's a grocery store 3 blocks south. Probably been looted, but might still have something. If I move fast, stay quiet, I could make it there and back before dark. Risky, but necessary. My supplies won't last forever. I'll decide after I see what the afternoon brings. 12:33 p.m. Noon has passed. We're well into day 2 of the crisis. Feels like a lifetime already. I'm thinking about time differently now, not in terms of schedules and appointments, but in terms of survival increments. Made it through another hour, another day, another night. That's the new measure of success. The CDC blog I've been monitoring just posted an update. They're estimating infection rates in the metro area at approximately 40% of the total population. 40%. That's hundreds of thousands of people infected, dead, or reanimated. And the rate is accelerating, exponential growth. Classic epidemic curve. At this rate, within a week, 90% or more of the population will be infected. The 10% who survive will inherit a ruined city full of the walking dead. Not a future I want to contemplate, but one I might be living. 1:13. I'm monitoring multiple radio frequencies. Most are silent now. A few emergency broadcasts still going, automated messages on loop, but one frequency has active communication, sounds like a military channel, encrypted but poorly. I can make out most of what they're saying. They're discussing containment failure, saying the perimeter is compromised in multiple locations. Infected are getting through, spreading into the surrounding counties. They're requesting permission to implement terminal protocols, whatever that means. The response is garbled, but I caught the word authorized. Terminal protocols authorized, that sounds ominous. It could be mass extermination. It could be abandonment of the zone. It could be something I can't even imagine. But whatever it is, it's escalating. 2:08. The power failed completely about 10 minutes ago. Buildings on backup generators now. I can hear them running in the basement. Steady mechanical rhythm. Reassuring and ominous at the same time. When those generators run out of fuel, I'm in darkness. I need to be ready for that. I'm gathering essential supplies, flashlights, batteries, a battery-powered radio, water, food, creating a go bag in case I need to evacuate quickly. Always have an exit strategy. 2:43. I'm hearing explosions in the distance. Not gunfire. Actual explosions. Large ones. The military is using heavier weapons, possibly demolishing buildings to create barriers, to channel the infected into kill zones. for destroying infrastructure to prevent movement. Scorched earth tactic. The city is being sacrificed to save the region. 316. I'm looking at my map again, plotting routes, identifying landmarks. If I have to leave on foot, I need to know where I'm going. Can't just wander. There are rural areas to the west, beyond the quarantine perimeter. If I could somehow get through, I might find safety there. But getting through means bypassing military checkpoints that are authorized to use lethal force. Not a great option. Alternatively, I could head to the industrial port district. Lots of warehouses, shipping containers, places to hide. Probably less infected there, less population density to begin with. That might be the smarter play. I'm marking it on the map. Port district. Potential refuge. 351. The sun is starting its afternoon descent. In a few hours it'll be dark again. Another night to survive. I'm not looking forward to it. The sounds from last night are still fresh in my memory. The scraping, the moaning, the sense of predators circling. I'll go dark again when they come, same as before. But I don't know how many nights I can do this. The psychological toll is significant. Fear is exhausting. 428. I'm receiving a text from an unknown number. It just says generator fuel in basement, loading dock. Keys in security office. Friend. I don't know who sent it, don't recognize the number. But if it's accurate, there might be additional fuel for the generators, enough to keep power running longer. The question is whether to trust it. Could be a trap. Could be someone luring me into the open, or it could be a legitimate attempt to help from someone who knows I'm here. I can't decide yet. Need to think about it. 503. The decision made itself. The generators are starting to sputter. Running low on fuel faster than I calculated. If I'm going to get more fuel, it has to be now. Before dark. I'm going down to the loading dock. Stupid. Probably. But staying here without power is worse. I'm taking this portable recorder with me. If something happens, at least there will be a record. 527. I'm in the security office. Found the keys where the text said they'd be. The building is eerie in the low light. Emergency lighting barely functioning. Long shadows everywhere. I'm hearing sounds. Can't tell if they're building settling or something else. Moving quickly. 539. I'm at the loading dock. There are fuel barrels here. Lots of them. Enough to run the generators for weeks. Someone planned ahead, or got lucky. Either way, I'm grateful. I'm loading fuel into portable containers. Heavy work. Taking multiple trips. 558. 3 containers filled and moved to the generator room. Enough to refuel and keep running. I'm heading back up to the broadcast room. Made it. No incidents, no encounters. But my heart was pounding the entire time. Every shadow looked like a threat. Every sound made me freeze. Paranoia is healthy now. Keeps you alive. 624. The generators are refueled and running smoothly. Power is stable. I can keep broadcasting. Small victory, but I'll take it. The sun is setting. Orange light through the windows. Beautiful and melancholy. Another day ending. Another night beginning. I'm as ready as I can be. 651. Full darkness in about 20 minutes. I'm securing the broadcast room, barricading the door with furniture. Not that it'll stop determined infected, but it might slow them down. Give me time to react if they breach the building. I've got a crowbar within reach. Not much as weapons go, but better than nothing. Hope I don't have to use it. 718. Dark now except for moonlight and my equipment lights. The city is quiet again, that pre-swarm quiet that makes my skin crawl. I'm monitoring all channels, listening for any indication of movement. Nothing yet, but the night is young. 754. A noise in the hallway. Definite. Not imagination. Footsteps. Slow, dragging footsteps. Someone or something is in the building. I'm going silent. Turning off all non-essential lights. Minimal equipment only. Waiting. 837. Still there, in the hallway. I can hear it moving back and forth. Not trying the door yet, just pacing. I don't know if it knows I'm here or if it's random movement. Either way, I'm trapped. Can't leave without encountering it. I'm staying absolutely still, barely breathing. 921. It's gone. The footsteps faded about 10 minutes ago. Silence now, but I'm not convinced it's safe. Could be waiting. Could be listening like I am. I'm giving it more time before I move. 10:04. I think it's clear. No sounds for over 40 minutes. I'm cautiously returning to normal operation. Light still low, but broadcasting again. If you're listening, if you're hiding like I am, stay strong. We're making it through 1 hour at a time. 10:53. I'm exhausted but too wired to sleep. Adrenaline is a powerful drug. I'm thinking about Emily again, about everyone I know who might be dead or infected or suffering. Survivor's guilt is real. Why am I alive when so many aren't? What makes me special? Nothing. Just luck. Random chance. It's not fair, but fairness isn't a concept that applies anymore. You survive or you don't. That's the only measure. 11:39. Gunfire in the distance. Sustained. Someone's fighting. I hope they win, I hope they survive. But I'm not optimistic. This is the world now. Constant danger, constant loss, constant fear, and we adapt or we die. Midnight. Day 2 is over, day 3 is beginning. I'm still here, still broadcasting, still alive. That's something. This is Daniel Rothman, 104.7 FM, broadcasting from a dying city. If you're out there, if you're listening, know that you're not alone. We're in this together, even if we're apart. Stay safe, stay hidden, stay human. We'll make it through this night, and then we'll face the next one. It's 12:43 a.m., day 3, the witching hour. I'm sitting in darkness listening to the city breathe. That's what it sounds like. A massive organism respiring, inhale of distant screams, exhale of gunfire and sirens, the living and the dead locked in eternal struggle. Philosophical at this hour. Probably the exhaustion, or maybe clarity comes when you strip away everything else, when survival is all that matters. I'm thinking about civilization, about what we build over thousands of years. Cities, governments, art, science, all of it. The accumulated knowledge and achievement of the species, and how quickly it can all collapse. A week ago, everything was normal. Today, it's ashes. Makes you wonder about the permanence of anything. 1:17, I'm monitoring Red Dawn Observer's blog again, still updating somehow. They're reporting that the president addressed the nation an hour ago. I missed it, no TV signal here. But according to the blog, martial law has been declared nationwide. All major cities under military control, curfews, travel restrictions, emergency powers activated. The federal government is suspending normal constitutional operations. Indefinite state of emergency. That's the end of the republic as we knew it. Maybe temporarily, maybe permanently. Hard to say which at this point. The blog also mentions that several other countries are closing their borders to U.S. travelers, quarantining us globally. America is the hot zone now. The infected continent. No help is coming from outside. We're on our own. 2:03. The temperature is dropping fast. It's going to be below freezing tonight. I can see my breath clearly. The building's heating is failing despite the generators. I'm layering clothes, wrapping in whatever fabric I can find, trying to conserve body heat. Hypothermia is a real risk now. Add it to the list. 2:49. A sound outside, different from before. Engines, multiple vehicles moving fast. I'm looking out the window carefully. Military convoy, speeding through downtown. No lights, just moonlight reflecting off metal. They're heading west toward the perimeter, either retreating or repositioning, not sure which, but the fact that they're moving at night, that they're in a hurry, suggests something significant is happening. 3:26. Explosions again, bigger than before. The windows rattled. I'm seeing flashes of light on the western horizon, orange and red blooming against the night sky. They're destroying the perimeter. Pulling back. The containment is being abandoned. That means one of two things. Either they've decided we're all dead anyway and they're withdrawing, or the infected breached the perimeter and containment is impossible. Either way, we're truly on our own now. 4:08, the explosions have stopped. The western sky is glowing with fires. Whatever the military did, it's done. The silence that follows is profound. No more distant gunfire. No more helicopter rotors. No more signs of organized resistance. Just us and them. Survivors and infected, in a city that's become a tomb. Dawn can't come soon enough. 5:33. The sky is lightening, gray pre-dawn. I survived another night. That's becoming my mantra. Survived another night. I'm physically intact, mentally strained but functional. Still have power, still have supply. Could be worse. But looking at the city in the growing light, seeing the smoke columns, the damaged buildings, the empty streets, it's hard to feel optimistic. This is the aftermath. This is what's left. 6:14, full sunrise, Wednesday morning, day 3. The city looks dead in the daylight, truly dead. No movement on the streets, no signs of life, just ruins and silence. It's possible everyone else is dead or turned, that I'm the last human in the metro area. Possible but unlikely. There must be other survivors, hiding like me, waiting for something to change. But what if it doesn't? What if this is it? The new permanent reality? I'm trying not to spiral into despair, trying to stay focused on practical matters. Food inventory, water supply, power management, security assessment, the basics of survival. 7:06, I'm hearing something. Faint but present, a radio signal, another broadcast. I'm tuning to the frequency. It's weak, coming from far away. A voice, male, older, speaking calmly about fortification techniques, water purification, basic medical care. A survival broadcast from somewhere outside the city. Still functioning, still helping. I'm recording it. This information might save lives. Might save mine. 7:51. The broadcast I found is coming from a ham radio operator about 100 miles north. He's calling himself Silver Fox. He's providing practical information for survivors, how to secure buildings, how to identify infected, how to create weapons from common materials. He's also sharing information from other sources, news from unaffected areas, government announcements, scientific updates. It's the most comprehensive information I've found since this started. I'm grateful someone is doing this work, keeping the network alive, sharing knowledge. It gives me hope that humanity isn't completely lost. 8:33. Silver Fox just mentioned something critical. Scientists at a facility in Montana are claiming they've identified the viral vector mechanism. The gene drive modification included a rabies-like virus engineered to be hyper-transmissible. It attacks the central nervous system, causes the aggressive behavior, and maintains basic motor function post-mortem. But here's the key detail. The virus has a lifespan. Infected individuals remain active for approximately 72 hours after death. Then the virus degrades and the body truly dies. 72 hours. 3 days. That means the infected from day one should be dying for real soon. The swarm should start thinning out. If we can survive long enough, if we can avoid infection for just a few more days, the threat might diminish significantly. That's the first genuinely good news I've heard. I'm sharing this on my broadcast. People need to know. They need hope. 9:17. I'm thinking about the implications if the infected have a 72-hour active period. We're near the end of the first wave. But anyone infected yesterday will be active until Friday. Anyone infected today will be active until Saturday. We still have days of danger ahead, but the end is visible, theoretically, assuming the science is correct, assuming nothing mutates further, assuming a lot of things. But it's something. A light at the end of the tunnel, however distant. 10:04. I'm planning my next week. If I can hold out here until Monday, the infected population should be drastically reduced. Then I can move more safely, scavenge supplies, find other survivors. Start thinking about long-term instead of just hour to hour. 7 days. I need to survive 7 days. I have the resources, I have the fortification, I have the information. I can do this. 10:51. The streets are still quiet, no movement visible. But I know they're out there hiding in buildings and sewers and dark places, waiting for night probably. The infected seem more active after dark. Maybe the virus makes them photosensitive, maybe it's just behavioral. Either way, nights are the danger period. I'm preparing now for tonight, reinforcing barricades, checking weapons, planning escape routes if needed. Always prepare for the work. 11:37, I'm eating. Conserving supplies but maintaining strength. Can't afford to get weak, need to stay sharp, stay capable. The food situation is manageable for now. I have about 4 days of food left at current consumption rates. After that I'll need to scavenge. But 4 days gets me to Sunday, gets me through most of the danger period. Then I can reassess. 12:23 p.m. Noon. The sun directly overhead. The city looks almost peaceful from up here. The damage isn't as visible. The emptiness could be mistaken for a quiet afternoon. But I know the truth. The horror hiding in every shadow. The death soaking into the concrete. This city died. We just haven't admitted it yet. 1:09. I'm trying to reach Emily again. Texting, calling, everything. No response. Her phone goes straight to voicemail. Battery died. Or she's dead. I don't know which. I'm hoping for the former, telling myself she's just without power, without a way to charge her phone, but I know the odds. Still, I hope. It's all I can do. 2:16. Silver Fox is back on air with an update. The government is announcing safe zones in rural areas, locations where the infection hasn't spread, where supplies are being stockpiled, where survivors can gather. The nearest one to us is about 70 miles northwest, a small town called Barrington. Reaching it means crossing the former quarantine perimeter, traveling through potentially infected territory, surviving on limited resources. But it's a destination, a goal, a reason to keep going. I'm marking it on my map, Barrington. My exit strategy, 3:04. The power flickered again. Generators are running but showing strain. I need to manage power more carefully. Can't broadcast continuously. Need to conserve for critical periods. I'm implementing a schedule. Broadcasting for 15 minutes every hour. The rest of the time, minimal power usage. It's not ideal, but it's sustainable. People will understand. Anyone still listening knows the situation. 3:58. I'm off air for now. Conserving power. Using this time to plan, to rest, to maintain equipment. The silence is strange. After broadcasting almost continuously for 3 days, the quiet feels empty, but necessary. 4:43. Back on air for my scheduled broadcast. If you're listening, here's the critical information for today. The infected have a 72-hour active period. First wave should be dying off soon. Hold your position if you can. Survive until Monday. There are safe zones being established. Barrington is the nearest to us, 70 miles northwest. Mark it on your map. The government is still functioning at some level. Help exists beyond the infected zones. Don't give up. That's the message. That's what people need to hear. Stay strong. Stay hidden. Stay alive. This is Daniel Rothman, 104.7 FM. I'll be back on air at 5:43. Back on air. The sun is getting low. Another evening approaching. Another night to survive. I'm as ready as I can be. Barricades secure. Supplies accessible. Weapons ready and mentally prepared. That might be the most important part. Knowing what's coming. Accepting it. Being ready to face it. Fear is manageable when you expect it. 6:28. Sunset in less than an hour. I'm watching the light fade, treasuring these last minutes of daylight. The night holds terrors, but I've survived 2 nights already. I can survive another. I have to. 7-Eleven, darkness settling in. The transformation is beginning. The city changes at night, becomes hostile, becomes alien, but I'm learning its rhythms, learning when to be still, when to be silent, when to hide. Adaptation. This is my scheduled broadcast for the hour, 15 minutes. Then back to low power mode. If you're out there, if you're listening, good luck tonight. We're all gonna need it. This is Daniel Rothman. Stay safe. 8:05. Quiet so far. No sounds of swarms. No indication of movement. Maybe they're diminishing already. Maybe the 72-hour degradation is real. Or maybe they're gathering somewhere else, concentrating for a mass assault. No way to know. Just have to wait and see. 9:12. Still quiet. Unnaturally so. I don't trust it. Silence can be a trap, but I'm grateful for it anyway. Every quiet hour is an hour closer to safety. 10:26. A sound, distant but distinct. Vehicle engine, moving fast. Survivors, military, scavengers. The engine sound is fading, moving away from downtown. Someone else is out there, someone with a vehicle, with fuel, with the courage to move at night. I hope they make it wherever they're going. 11:39, I'm gonna try to sleep, brief rest while the night is quiet. Can't afford to be exhausted, need to maintain function. Setting an alarm for 2 a.m., 3 hours of sleep if I can manage it. This is Daniel Rothman, off air until the next scheduled broadcast. Stay vigilant. It's 2:03 a.m. Alarm woke me. Checking status. Everything secure. No incidents while I slept. That's good. 3 hours of sleep. Not enough, but better than nothing. I'm going back on air for my scheduled 15 minutes. To anyone listening at this hour, we're almost to day 4. Almost through the worst of the initial wave. Keep going. Keep surviving. The end is visible. I'm going back off air. Power conservation. Critical now. Next broadcast at 3:03. This is Daniel Rothman. Signing off. 3:03. Scheduled broadcast. Still quiet out there. The night passing without major incidents so far. 2 hours until dawn. We can make it. To those of you who've made it this far, who've survived 3 nights, you're stronger than you know. Don't quit now. We're so close. This is Daniel Rothman. See you at 4:03. 4:03. Last broadcast before dawn. The sky is starting to lighten. Faintest gray in the east. We made it through another night. Day 4 is about to begin. I'm proud of everyone who survived. Proud of myself for surviving. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast at 5:03 as the sun rises. Stay strong. 5:03. Dawn. Thursday morning. The sun is rising on day 4. The light revealing the same broken city. But we're still here. Still alive. That counts for something. I'm going to continue my hourly broadcast today, 15 minutes on, 45 minutes conserving. It's sustainable and it keeps the information flowing. To everyone listening, remember the timeline, 72 hours from initial infection. We're past the halfway point. By Saturday evening, the first wave should be completely inactive. Dead for real. Hold your positions. Conserve resources. Don't take unnecessary risks. We're winning through attrition, through simply outlasting them. This is Daniel Rothman, 104.7 FM. Next broadcast at 6:03. I'm back. 6:03. I'm seeing movement on the streets for the first time in days. Living people. Survivors emerging cautiously. They're moving in groups. Armed. Watching for threats. Scavenging probably. Looking for food, water, supply. It's risky in daylight, but resources are running low for everyone. We all have to move eventually. I'm considering joining them. Safety in numbers. Better than staying isolated, but also more complicated. More personalities. More potential for conflict. I'll decide later. For now, I'm observing. This is Daniel Rothman, off air until 7:03. 7:03, back on air. The scavenger groups are increasing. I'm seeing dozens of people now moving through the commercial district, some cooperation, some tension. One group confronted another over a cache of supplies, ended without violence, but it was close. Resources are the new currency, the new source of conflict. We're reverting to tribalism fast. My group versus yours. My supplies versus yours. Human nature under pressure. I'm staying out of it for now. Observing from a distance. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast at 8:03. 8:03. Morning progressing. Silver Fox is reporting that the safe zones are filling up, thousands of survivors making it to rural areas, but also reporting violence at some zones, overcrowding, resource disputes. The same problems we're seeing here. The apocalypse doesn't end human conflict, just changes the context. Still, the safe zones represent hope, structure, the possibility of rebuilding. I'm more convinced that Barrington is my destination. When the time is right, I'm heading there. Maybe this weekend, maybe early next week, when the infected threat diminishes enough to make travel viable. This is Daniel Rothman, off air until 9:03. 9:03. I'm back. The city feels different today. There's activity. There's purpose in the movement I'm seeing. People aren't just hiding anymore. They're adapting, organizing, surviving actively instead of passively. It's a shift, subtle but significant. Maybe we're turning a corner. Maybe the worst is behind us. Or maybe I'm being optimistic. Maybe it's just a lull before the next wave. Time will tell. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast at 10:03. 10:03. Status check. My supplies are holding. Food for 3 more days. Water is good. Power is managed. I'm in sustainable mode. Can hold this position for another week if needed. But I'm getting restless. Isolation is taking its toll. I'm seriously considering making contact with other survivors, finding a group, contributing to a collective effort. Humans are social animals. Even in apocalypse, we need connection. I'll decide by tomorrow. This is Daniel Rothman, off until 11:03. 11:03, late morning. I'm hearing a new sound, distinct from the usual city noises. Bells, church bells ringing. Someone is ringing church bells downtown. Deliberately, rhythmically. It's a signal, a gathering call, or a memorial, or both. I'm listening to them echo across the empty city. It's beautiful and sad. A reminder that we're still human, still capable of ritual, still seeking meaning. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast at 12:03. 12:03, noon, day 4. The bells have stopped, but the message remains. We're still here, still fighting, still human. I'm thinking about what comes next. After the infected die off, after the immediate crisis passes, how do we rebuild? How do we create new structures, new communities, new civilization from these ruins? It's a massive undertaking. Might take generations, but humans are resilient. We've rebuilt before, we can do it again. Assuming we survive the rebuilding process itself, that's not guaranteed. This is Daniel Rothman, off air until 1:03. 1:03. Afternoon. I'm monitoring multiple frequencies. Hearing other broadcasts now, other survivors sharing information. Someone in the northern suburbs running a medical advice program. A former nurse helping people treat injuries and illness. Someone else coordinating supply sharing. Creating a network of survivors helping each other. Community is forming even in chaos. That's encouraging. I'm contributing through my broadcasts, sharing what I learn, connecting people through information. It's not much, but it matters. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast at 2:03. 2:03. I'm back. Big news from Silver Fox. The government is announcing plans to retake major cities. Military operations beginning next week. Clearing infected. Securing infrastructure. Establishing order. Whether that happens or succeeds is an open question, but the intent is significant. Means the government hasn't given up, hasn't written us off. There's a future beyond survival, beyond just making it through the night. That's something to hold on to. This is Daniel Rothman, off until 3:03. 3:03, scheduled broadcast. I'm seeing smoke to the south, large fire burning, multiple buildings involved. Could be accidental, could be intentional clearing, could be survivors destroying infected nests. No way to know from here, but it's a reminder that danger is still present, still active, still requiring constant vigilance. Can't let our guard down yet. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast at 4:03. 4:03, late afternoon. The sun is angling low. Another evening approaching. Night 4 coming. But I'm less afraid than previous nights. I'm learning, adapting, understanding the pattern. Knowledge reduces fear. Routine creates confidence. I can handle whatever tonight brings. This is Daniel Rothman, off air until 5:03. 5:03, pre-sunset broadcast. The light is golden again. That brief perfect moment before darkness. I'm appreciating it more now. Finding beauty in small things. Survival sharpens perception. Makes you notice what you took for granted. I'm grateful for another day, another chance. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast at 6:03 as darkness falls. 6:03. Darkness settling in. Night 4. 4 nights since the outbreak. 72 hours since the first infection. The math says the first wave should be dying off now. The threat diminished. We'll see if the science holds true. For now, same protocols. Stay quiet. Stay hidden. Stay safe. This is Daniel Rothman, off air until 7:03. 7:03. Full dark now. Quiet so far. No sounds of swarms. No indication of mass movement. Maybe the infected are degrading. Maybe their numbers are thinning. Or maybe they're conserving energy. Preparing for something. I'm maintaining caution. Not assuming safety. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast at 8:03. 8:03. Evening. Still quiet. Eerily so. The silence feels different tonight. Less threatening. More like absent. Like the city is emptying of its dangers. Returning to stillness. I'm choosing to interpret that positively. Choosing to believe we're winning. This is Daniel Rothman. Off until 9:03. 9:03. I'm back. 3 hours into night 4. Still no incidents. I'm allowing myself to hope. To believe the worst might be over. To imagine a future beyond this building. Beyond this microphone. Beyond constant fear. A future with other people, with community, with purpose beyond mere survival. It's a fragile hope, but it's there. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast at 10:03. 10:03. Late evening. I'm going to try to sleep soon. Need rest. Need to rebuild strength. The night is quiet. Feels safe enough to close my eyes. Setting alarm for 1 a.m. 4 hours of sleep. More than I've had in days. To everyone listening, good night. Sleep if you can. We've earned it. This is Daniel Rothman, off air until 1:03 a.m. 1:03 a.m. Day 5 beginning. I slept 4 hours, uninterrupted. The first real rest since this started. Woke feeling more alert, more capable. The difference is significant. Everything is quiet. Night passing peacefully. We made it to day 5. The infected should be dying off now. The threat level dropped. Optimism is creeping in. Cautious but present. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast at 2:03. 2:03. Deep night. The city is silent. Truly silent. No distant screams. No gunfire. No sounds of death. Just quiet. Like a normal night in a normal city. It's been so long since normal that I almost don't remember what it feels like. But this feels close. This feels like healing beginning. This is Daniel Rothman. Off air until 3:03. 3:03. Pre-dawn. The darkest hour. But the sky is already starting to lighten. Dawn is coming. Day 5 is coming. Another milestone. Another day survived. Another day closer to recovery. I'm feeling something I haven't felt in days. Not just hope. Confidence. We're going to make it. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast at 4:03. 4:03. Dawn approaching. The sky is gray. Light growing. Another sunrise. Friday morning. Day 5. 5 days since the outbreak began. 5 days that changed everything. 5 days that killed thousands. 5 days that destroyed our city. But also 5 days that revealed strength, revealed resilience, revealed our capacity to endure. We're not defeated. We're battered. Broken in places, but not defeated. This is Daniel Rothman. Off until 5:03. 5:03. Sunrise. Friday. The sun is rising on a different world. A world after catastrophe. A world being reborn. I can see people moving again. More than yesterday. Moving with less fear. With more purpose. We're emerging. Coming out of hiding. Reclaiming our city. It's beautiful to watch. This is Daniel Rothman, 104.7 FM, broadcasting hope on day 5. Next update at 6:03. 6:03. Morning progressing. I'm making a decision. Today I'm leaving this building. Going to make contact with other survivors. I've been alone long enough. It's time to join the living world again. I'll keep broadcasting. I'll keep sharing information. But I'll do it as part of a community instead of as an isolated voice. First step, then we'll see where it leads. This is Daniel Rothman, off until 7:03. 7:03, I'm preparing to leave. Packing essential supplies, making sure the broadcast equipment can be shut down and restarted if needed. Creating a plan for the rate I'll take, where I'll go, what I'll do. Nervous but excited, scared but hopeful. This is the next chapter, moving from survival to recovery. This is Daniel Rothman. Next broadcast may be from a different location. Stay tuned. 8:17. I'm on the street. First time outside in 5 days. The air smells like smoke and decay, but it's fresh compared to the stale building air. The city is damaged but standing, wounded but alive. I'm seeing other people, real people, survivors. We're making eye contact, nodding, acknowledging each other. We made it. We're still here. I'm heading toward the sound of voices, toward a gathering of some kind, toward other humans. This is Daniel Rothman, broadcasting mobile. Next update when I know more. 9:04. I found them. A group of about 30 survivors, setting up a community center in a fortified school building. They have supplies, they have organization, they have hope. They welcomed me, offered food, offered a place to stay. I'm home, or as close to home as exists now. I'm going to continue broadcasting from here, with their support, as part of their community. This is Daniel Rothman, 104.7 FM, still here, still fighting, still broadcasting, but not alone anymore. Never alone again. 10:26. Settling in with my new community. There are families here, children, elderly, all ages, all backgrounds, united by survival, by shared trauma, by hope for the future. We're organizing, assigning tasks, planning for the long term. This is how we rebuild, one community at a time, one person at a time. I'm part of something bigger now, part of the solution. This is Daniel Rothman, broadcasting from the New Hope Community Center, because that's what we're calling it, New Hope. We've earned the right to name it ourselves. 11:39, they've given me a dedicated space for broadcasting, small room with power, with protection. I can continue doing what I do best, sharing information, connecting people, giving voice to the voiceless, but now with support, with community, with purpose beyond mere survival. This is what matters. This is why we fight, not just to live, but to live together, to rebuild together, to create something worth surviving for. This is Daniel Rothman, 104.7 FM, broadcasting from New Hope. And there is hope, real hope. For the first time in days, I believe we have a future. Not the future we planned, not the world we knew, but a future nonetheless. We'll build it together, one day at a time. This is Daniel Rothman, still broadcasting, still hoping, still believing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for surviving. Thank you for being part of this journey. We made it through the darkness. Now we face the dawn. And whatever comes next, we face it together. This is TEL 104.7 FM. Daniel Rothman signing off this chapter, but not signing off entirely. Never signing off. As long as there are people who need to hear a voice in the darkness, I'll be here. Broadcasting hope. Broadcasting truth. Broadcasting survival. Stay safe out there. Stay strong. Stay human. This is Daniel Rothman, and this is our world now. Let's make it better than what we lost. Let's make it worth the cost. Together. Always together. 4.7 FM. Still broadcasting. Still alive. Still hoping. This is Daniel Rothman. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good luck. And good survival to us all. End of continuous broadcast. But not the end of the story. Never the end. Just another beginning.